In the United States alone, over 600,000 people have been reported missing. Most are quickly found, but some can remain missing for months or even years. While videos can often help track down a missing person, sometimes this footage can just leave more questions than answers or point to a haunting conclusion. Here are 5 scary last videos before people disappeared. Number 5. This first case is relatively recent, with the victim disappearing in December of 2019. Natalie Jenkins was 32 years old when she went missing from Middlesbrough, England on the 10th of December last year. Natalie was seen walking towards Albert Park on Park Road South at 11:38 p.m. CCTV shows Natalie walking down the street in a red winter coat and a light-colored hat. The street is pretty quiet, though at one point a dark-colored car passes the woman, traveling in the opposite direction. She also crosses the path of another individual, though the grainy footage makes it difficult to make out any details. She appears to be weaving around the pavement and could possibly be under the influence of alcohol, though footage from earlier in the night shows her walking much more purposefully and appears to talk to someone on a cell phone. Officers working the case say Natalie is vulnerable, as she has a history of drug use and sexual work. Police had spoken to hundreds of people and retrieved thousands of hours of CCTV footage to track down her last location, as well as searching her home, though nobody has been charged for her disappearance. Sadly, police are now treating her disappearance as a suspected murder. She has no access to her bank account and no passport, and police say that there's no proof of life, though no body has been found. Natalie is described as a white female around 5'5", with a fair complexion and a very slim build. She has straight brown hair, hazel eyes, and is missing a front tooth. She also has a tattoo with the word swan on her neck and another of the word Swanee on her wrist. Possibly due to present circumstances in the UK, there have been no updates in her case in over a month. Police are still urging anyone with information to come forward, and Crime Stoppers has offered a $10,000 reward for information that leads to a conviction. Number 4. 6 years ago, mother of 2, Kiara Stubbs, got into a car with a man she thought was going to help fix her car, and she has not been seen since. Kiara met the man at her work, where he seemed nice. He also had children and mentioned that he couldn't figure out how to braid their hair. Kiara offered to help, and in return, the man offered to fix her brakes. On April 24, 2014, Kiara's brother dropped her off at a Boost Mobile store in Birmingham, Alabama. She went into the store and spoke with the cashier before the man she was waiting for arrived. The mystery man never leaves his car, a burgundy Chrysler 200 with tinted windows, and no view of him can be seen on CCTV. She got into his car and they drove away. Police managed to track the man down, but have not revealed his name. He's not been arrested, but remains a person of interest. Despite the length of time that Kiara has been missing, there hasn't been much known about her disappearance. Police haven't revealed where she and the man went, or given any information about what he claims happened to her. There also doesn't appear to be any other leads. As her family says, it's as if she disappeared into thin air. Her family still holds on to hope that she'll be found alive and Kiara's children, now 7 and 10 years old, get to see their mother again. This case is particularly sad, and it doesn't seem to have gotten much attention. Some online have criticized Kiara for getting in the car and her brother for allowing her, even though Kiara had been speaking with the man for over a month and never expressed any concerns about him. Hopefully, by highlighting the case, we can get to the bottom of her disappearance. Kiara was 23 years old when she went missing. She's described as a black female with black hair and brown eyes. She was 5'3" and was last seen wearing gray leggings and a gray sweatshirt. Max Greenfield was last seen on CCTV of the Lucky 7 casino walking away from the casino with an older man. When the other man returned to the casino 20 minutes later, Max was missing. On March 18, 2019, 25-year-old Max was picked up from his mother's house in Brookings, Oregon, by a group of friends and driven to the casino, which is about 15 minutes away. They arrived at 1 a.m. and Max entered the casino alone. It appears none of the friends that had picked him up joined him at the casino, but since Max couldn't drive and he was supposed to be meeting other friends there, it wasn't too suspicious. Max went to the casino's rear entrance, where he waited for around 50 minutes before returning to the main entrance. He was picked up on CCTV again, this time talking to a white middle-aged man. Max is gesturing at something, possibly one of the friends he was supposed to be meeting. They walked through the car park, both appearing pretty relaxed, before walking out of the view of the camera. The men returned 20 minutes later without Max, and the 25-year-old has not been seen since. This is another case that gives more and more questions the more it's dug into. The man was found and questioned by police. He told police that he and Max went their separate ways after leaving the casino. Police have not revealed his identity, but claim he's still a person of interest. At first, it may seem as if Max may have run away, especially considering he was carrying a black duffel bag. But a few things contradict this hypothesis. Max left his medication and his ID at his mother's house, both of which he would have needed when running away. Furthermore, Max's phone had no SIM card and had to rely on Wi-Fi for him to make calls or texts. Police have evidence the phone was disconnected from the casino Wi-Fi, but none that reconnect it elsewhere. This also begs the question about why he left the casino if he was waiting for a friend, as if he had no way of contacting them without internet connection. Police say that there's been a lot of activity in the case, but so far there's no sign of Max or his belongings. Max is described as a white male around 6 foot tall with brown hair and blue eyes, and a skeleton key tattoo on his left arm. He was wearing black jeans, a dark t-shirt, black jacket, and a black beanie at the time of his disappearance. Number 2. A 19-year-old named Iwana went missing when walking from a friend's house in Poland after a night out on the 17th of July 2010. CCTV shows Iwana walking barefoot through the seaside boulevard, only briefly scanning over her as the camera moves automatically to scan the area. She's not been seen since. Iwana had her whole life ahead of her when she went to a party at a friend's apartment. After a while, Iwana, her friend Adria, and 3 men Iwana had known for about a month continued to party at a nightclub. At the club, an argument broke out and Iwana left in a huff. With no money and little battery on her phone, she waited at the seaside promenade for it to get lighter outside. At around 4 a.m., Iwana began to walk home. She called Adria, and even though she was angry at her friend that had left her alone, the two made up. Iwana asked Adria if she could stay at her house, as she didn't want to go home to her mother while drunk. Adria agreed and told her friend that she would leave a key outside for her. At around 4:10 a.m., Iwana was picked up on CCTV. It's relatively busy with dog walkers and people making their way home after a night out. Iwana must have crossed paths with many people, including 2 men, seen walking in the opposite direction of Iwana as she leaves the frame. Of particular interest is the man seen walking a little ways behind Iwana. The man is wearing a blue plaid shirt and has a towel around his neck and is yet to be identified. Police don't believe he's a suspect, but they do believe that he may have more information about what happened to her next. There have been numerous theories about what happened to Iwana, including that she was caught up in drugs or sexual trafficking. Some internet sleuths believe her friends may have been involved in the disappearance. One theory points out that a friend was involved in a car accident the night that Iwana disappeared and called his insurance company the next day, claiming the car was wrecked. Some believe Iwana was killed in the accident, though there's never been any evidence of this in the case. Private investigators believe they may have cracked the case, though. CCTV shows a bin lorry taking a detour from its usual route, stopping by the entrance to storm drains. They claim that 3 maintenance workers killed Iwana and disposed of her body. The evidence isn't too strong, but the workers allegedly gave differing statements to police, and the investigators claim the CCTV footage may have shown her body, though it isn't all that clear. The case is still open as police try to get to the bottom of the mystery. Number 1. While this may not seem to be the case in the West, being a journalist can be quite dangerous in many parts of the world. In 2019 alone, 49 journalists were killed and 57 were held hostage, with 389 being detained, according to a report by Reporters Without Borders. Unsurprisingly, China has the most detained journalists, with more than 100 journalists imprisoned and more unaccounted for. One such journalist is a lawyer and activist from northeast China named Chen. Chen gained attraction from the wider world during the Hong Kong protest, where he posted videos from the ground. He was detained in August and sent back to the mainland, and all of his social accounts were removed. Chen returned to the internet in October, where he used YouTube to express his determination to continue reporting. In January, Chen rushed to the Wuhan district, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. He went to WeChat, a Chinese app similar to WhatsApp, where he promised to only spread facts, not rumors. He also blamed a government cover-up for the spread of the virus in Wuhan. Despite being censored by the government, Chen covered conditions in Wuhan, filming hospitals and helping to deliver medical supplies. During his vlog-style videos, it's clear the pressure and censorship is frustrating Chen, but he still retains his professionalism in the field. Chin's final video is a live stream with the son of a man who died due to the virus. They discuss the terrible conditions in the hospital where there wasn't enough medical equipment or doctors, and cross-contamination was a big problem. This is the last time the outside world ever heard from Chen. The next video on Chen's channel is from his mother. She tells the audience she hasn't heard from her son for around 6 hours, which is very unusual. Another video 2 days later explains that Chen was forced into quarantine, though authorities wouldn't give his parents any more information and his phone had been confiscated. Chen now tops the list of the One Free Press Coalition's list of journalists whose freedoms are being suppressed. What's particularly scary about this case is that it gives us an insight into the suppression and corruption in China, and it seems as if Chen and other journalists may have paid a heavy price for trying to report the truth.